Stand by for the opening night of the National Television Service.
I was going to say that Scott looks like a baseball dad, then I realized he's wearing a baseball hat, and so I figured that wasn't, you know. The fuck?
I moved because my phone has horrible, like, data. It's not connected to your Wi-Fi. And I want to text through the whole show because you're boring as fuck. Because I was uploading a video that I just finished, just editing while you were getting this whole show on the road.
That's a good start.
It's just this whole fucking thing.
So I saw in the brainstorm doc that you said I have daddy energy. What did you say? What did you write? I read.
I thought it was so funny just to write it out. I was wondering if you would notice it.
Yeah, I noticed it. I was looking at the document before we started, and there was one Scott.
So the quote is Zack has talk about how Zack has daddy energy. Maybe the room could. What did you think when you first saw that?
Well,
what did you think your daddy energy was?
Megan's sister, I said that I gave off dad vibes because I cleaned like the ketchup thing, like you know how you squirt it out of the thing and it gets messy. She saw me wipe that, and what did she say, Megan?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember that? You specifically told me that she commented on the fact that I cleaned the ketchup bottle. You don't remember that at all?
My dad used to do stuff like that. Maybe she meant.
That's yeah. No, I'm not talking about anything weird. I'm saying pure like.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Dear.
never mind. I was thinking. It made me think of cleaning a ketchup bottle.
No, it's not actually like the organized. It's not really the little things. No, I find that Scott. Why does Zack have daddy energy?
No, Scott, don't answer this. Stay out. Stay out, Scott. I'm uncomfortable.
Scott,
I'm gonna be way more uncomfortable if you say absolutely fucking anything right now.
Scott, talk to Papa.
Scott,
Come on.
No, don't, Scott. Please don't.
I don't know who. Is this where I draw my loyalty right here?
At the top of your third episode,
right? Whose side do I pick?
Well, Zack, are you saying?
I want to know
are
what
you saying do not, because you can edit anything out of the show. So I feel like when you say do not, you're playing up like, oh, I don't want to hear this. But it's like, obviously, if you're seriously saying do not, I'm not going to make it.
No, I'm uncomfortable.
What's the safe word?
I'm uncomfortable. I'm not actually uncomfortable. I feel like this is gonna go in a weird direction, and I'm just trying to like. I want you to play your cards before everyone. Like, I want to know why you put that in the fucking document. It makes me very uncomfortable.
Megan, why do you think Zack has daddy energy?
She doesn't. She doesn't. No one in this room thinks it but you. Okay, you're the only one, Julian. You don't. No one else is jumping in this hole with you. You need to explain yourself.
No one's actually
explain why you put on the
document. Okay.
Everyone else is gonna feel pressured to say something.
I'll lay my cards. Yeah, it's a sales tactic. People hate awkward silence. If you leave one, you let them fill it, and you gain more control in theory.
This is kind of separate but kind of similar. Whenever I hang out with my drumline group of friends, if I want to get the group to do something, I'll go and have one-on-one conversations with like half of the group, and then I'll bring it up in a group environment, and half of them already agree with me, and then I can just convince the other half to go do what I wanted to do in the first place.
You're like, okay, and that's a majority.
I'd be like, hey, you guys want to do this? And half of them are already just like,
you don't ever source out, because I feel like there are higher value votes in some of those things. You don't go to like the prettiest ones first. This is like the prettiest dudes, prettiest girls. Like, hey, what do you want to do? And it's like the 5 trendsetters of the group. No. So the reason that you, Zachary City, are a daddy.
The reason why you think this.
The reason why you, Zach, are a daddy is because... No, so the reason why I wrote that down is because I was thinking like, oh, I feel like that energy people aspire to is maybe like a protective energy. And protective sounds like I'm the alpha and I protect my back. It's not that, but like looking out for people, that energy of like caring whether or not people are taken care of. And also because like you have a little money and you're not exactly petty about like, you know, like spending it on people and being like generous with like your friends and loved ones. So for all of those reasons, I think you kind of have a like, you have a givingness about you that is very daddy to me.
Why'd you say daddy? You could have just said dad.
No, because I think I meant daddy. I chose my words.
So you understand there's like a...
My dad gives me things.
God.
You, daddy.
That's the opposite. Your daddy gives... Oh, I don't...
No. I guess. Well, A, because it was funny. It's because you if you title the video "Zack Has Daddy Energy."
I'm not titling the video that, bro. Fuck you.
Well, you put
You think that's
can
what
we
I'm
do a
naming
speech
this?
bubble? Can we like pause and have me doing a speech
Oh,
bubble?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah. We could do that. We could do that for sure.
so I'll do.
What?
Oh, Scott, you got so
Thank you.
getting
no one taught Scott.
getting
how to do the
uncomfortable.
camera.
Zoom into Julian's face like a disgusting amount. Oh shit, you don't even know how to zoom
He
in, do you?
doesn't know
Oh my God.
how to do any of it. Zachary, he's just sitting there.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, he figured it out.
That. Just get like uncomfortably so that you want us to look disgusting, Scott.
When Zach said
How did
the
I
word,
pitch this? How did I pitch this to Savannah? I said I want it to look bad, I guess is the thing.
Like a home
So,
movie.
like a home movie. So yes, like
Scott,
a
you
little
got
bit
it.
closer. Hey, I'll get that. That's good. Yeah, like that.
Yes,
Yes, like that. That is
yeah.
mint. Sometimes a little bit further away, but this is mint. Like to the point where it looks.
If one
bad.
of us is going off, it's really great to zoom in
It's
and
just
see
all of
the
a sudden,
eyes.
if someone's blasting off, you just get.
Because these cameras
Right in
capture
there.
our close and mid shots, so you're all about the like, what's deranged about this is what you're trying to like capture.
And every so often, Scott, just zoom into something in the environment. If like one of us is, don't overthink it. But if someone's getting really passionate about something, it is funny if Megan just cuts to a shot of like the carpet or like someone's foot, like someone's big toe, just out of nowhere. It's very silly. You need to have a very silly job.
But
Savannah
Zach, the
double booked
thesis
herself.
of that point
so
was
Scott got promoted. But
you have a generosity about you that I feel that if you wanted to, you could classify as being a daddy energy.
okay, and why do you want to classify it as a dad?
Because
energy?
it's funny. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this
well,
wasn't a new dynamic I was bringing into our everyday. It was a talking point that I wrote down on the
Okay.
Chucklehead brainstorm doc.
That was shockingly
You thought I had
combative.
like a speech?
I thought you were gonna come at me for something. I thought for sure I was preparing for war.
You thought I was
in
going to be
my
like,
head,
oh,
and
because
then you just
Megan
said some
actually
kind
tells
comments.
me all the time about your tiny penis.
Yeah, that's real dad vibe. Just a tiny Roman statue of a cock.
No, I get it, and that's why I think that's also part of the reason why is because I was like, because I'm gonna say something earnest, you know. So there needs to be something about it, like it needs to like hurt him in some way, you know. In this case, it's being called daddy by your friend who saw you getting yellow cards in kindergarten. You punk.
Oh, I forgot about yellow cards.
I actually have it written down in my stand-up that it's a real. I forget if I've told you this, or maybe we've even talked about it on the show. But it's a really fucked up system because I remember thinking as a kid, like, I like Zach, bit of a yellow card kid though, kind of getting into trouble, and it's like. That's the perception it gives you. It's like the class is like, that's a fucking, I don't want to hang out with a fucking yellow card kid.
It's like an elementary school version of the caste system.
Yeah.
It's like, honey, don't hang out with them.
Yellow card, oh my God.
Yellow.
Jet was a red card. Oh, fuck.
Oh no, I have to edit that.
it's just-
Jet was a red card.
Jet was a red card. Do you remember?
Perfectly fine person.
So not quite, but I mean, like, not a person who needs to like be attacked. Certainly.
Oh, Jet.
Yeah, Jet. So
Well, yeah,
Jet.
of
oh, yeah.
course.
No, this
of course
is.
not. He's just a
Oh,
dick.
well, of course not. I have two stories, both decades apart
Okay.
or decade apart. One, do you remember when he
God.
brought a water gun to our kindergarten class and got expelled for it?
Not
Not
all.
expelled. He got suspended. He brought a
Tell
Nerf
this.
gun or a water gun to show and tell.
Oh, what
you
an
don't remember
idiot.
this?
Not at all. I don't have a lot of memories from
Interesting.
from
No,
kindergarten.
that's fair. I mean, because I feel like I'm the same way, right? Other people are so much better at bringing out shit from the past. Like, I wish that, like,
That is wild.
but like, yeah, no. So I remember that, and then the reason why I say like, oh, this isn't a person who I like have a great impression of is because I remember from high school that. We were sitting in class, or this wasn't, he was actually in Jesse's class. And there was a teacher, her name, it's not her name anymore, so we can probably say it. Her name was Miss Coolier at the time. And he would say in class, in his third period class, he'd like sneeze, and he'd be like, I want to bang the shit out of Miss Coolier.
What the fuck?
And he'd lean over to like, he'd be sitting next to like Jesse Steele from the Chucklehead show, you guys remember? And he'd be sitting next to Jesse, and he'd lean over and he'd be like, psst, I want to bang the shit out of Miss Coolier. And Jesse's like, dude, stop. It was nuts. So yeah, that's my exit memory for Jet.
Now that is worth the red card.
Perfect bit. Move on to the next thing. Wrap it up.
What a wild guy. My memory of Jet is in elementary
Nope,
school.
you ended it on a callback? Fucking stop.
No, this is good. This is good. It's not as good as that, but it is good. I don't know how to paint this picture, so I'm gonna need you guys to be like charitable with me, okay? But I have a vivid
Just like
memory.
you are, Daddy.
Fuck you, you motherfucker. I have a vivid memory of Jet being incredible at running on all fours. Like, really good. Like, at our elementary school, we had a playground, like a sand
I
field.
remember you coming up to me and being like, dude, you should fucking see Jet. Motherfucker's terrifying.
Dude,
and
it's
I remember
crazy.
it happened once, like I think it was during gym or something, and we were playing some silly game, which granted, like, that's you know how you look back on things from like childhood and you're like, okay, that's funny, that was cringy, that was fun. That's objectively really fucking funny. If you see a kid running at you and then it just evolves like,
It makes me think of Megan. Who's that dude who turned it? Who's the werewolf from Harry Potter, Mr. Lumen or something?
Lupin.
Lupin. He transforms on the soccer field. It was the craziest thing. He wouldn't wear gloves or anything.
whenever, I feel like
And he was faster. He'd be faster on all fours.
Well, he was
it makes
fast
no
as fuck.
sense. It made no sense at all. He like got a speed bump from adding 2 more limbs. It was insane. Like, imagine you're playing flag football and this motherfucker starts crawling at you faster than he was on his feet. It was frightening.
and he's more within flag grabbing distance.
Dude, try to juke a guy on all 4. It's fucking impossible.
Well, now that we're talking about this guy, I remember that he said to me, I remember he once said to me of two girls who were in our 6th grade class who were the popular girls and being, from our perspective, were the hot girls of our class in some capacity. I remember, and I'm gonna say this quote exactly. It's so unflattering. I don't even want to repeat it.
Arshray?
Yes, it was. No, it was Jet.
okay.
It was Jet.
We're just talking mad shit about a guy that we barely knew in high school.
Jet takedown, baby. To be fair, we barely knew him our whole school experience.
This is a show just for Pooh Crafter.
Pooh Crafter? You remember Jet Pooh Crafter? Oh, I hope you're not Jet. Fuck. Jet, you got way better at writing, dog. Jet, you're smart as fuck now. Good job.
This is bad. We shouldn't be doing this.
No, hang on. No, this makes up for it. He's worse than we are. So I remember Jet in 6th grade came up to me, and great father figure, by the way, because Jet
Would you
came
call
up
him
to
a
me,
daddy?
and Jet came up to me, and he said, hey, so at recess, I smacked Bailey on the ass. And after lunch, I'm going to go up to Alex for the big booby touch. These were these were his exact words. You might all see why I feel uncomfortable repeating them, because this doesn't reflect my opinions on what you should be doing at recess, not even one bit. So to hear Jet say it to me so plainly, without any hesitation, no.
Oh my god.
And the thing is, it was like, you're still a kid, so you're learning what, like, being like a bro is. So I remember, because I was so shocked by this information he tells me. I was like, hell yeah, man. Awesome that you thought to do that. It was fun. But so you understand why, like, you know, granted, you know, people are gonna be like, oh, Julian, he was in 6th grade. You're gonna take the man down. You're gonna ruin his whole life just because he went for the big booby touch in 6th grade. Yes,
Big booby touch.
that was the exact words. Exact words. Exact words.
You know what's horrible?
What?
I'm gonna like go up to Megan tonight in the bedroom. I'm like, all right, Megan, it's time for the big movie touch. And the unfortunate thing is that that's actually gonna happen. That's the worst part. Is that it
Stay
is
the
for
fuck
sure.
away from me.
I'm gonna totally ruin the moment
Zach,
later.
I'm
I'm gonna fuck it
You
up.
want to know what the worst part is? Lily isn't even here right now, so she has no context for the joke she's about to receive tonight.
All right, Julian, let's each find a premiere moment to use the term the big booby touch with our girlfriends, and then report back.
Wait, do
Okay.
I not get to be
Oh,
part of
sorry.
it?
Okay, we're all gonna do. This is great. I was telling Megan. Megan was
This
like,
show didn't have enough men before. That's what I was thinking.
when Megan
Yeah.
was like, man, there's a lot of masculine energy when she found out that Savannah was coming. I was like, this is gonna be a fucking sausage fest. And this is what, when Savannah's not here, this is what we do. We plan to fuck with our girlfriends with the big booby touch, and then we come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
You know, Zach, I can also do the big booby
Oh,
touch.
you motherfucker! Oh, you piece of shit! She got
Get it,
me.
big.
I'm glad. You know what? Yeah,
Zoom
props,
right in
props.
on the-
Megan, you could have said both of us when we're talking about.
Yeah, but
When
I'm not
we're
gonna
using
touch
words-
yours, Julian.
Hey, calm down. She's not going for your big booby touch.
There we are.
You're gonna be like, hey, Lily, time for the big booby touch, and she's gonna be like, time for the ginormous booby touch.
And she's gonna be like, again? Okay. No, okay.
She's gonna be like, ah, Jet. No. Oh, this is bad. She's, I think, you know, Jet gives off like without knowing anything about him for like 6 years.
Which
Once again,
most
this is bad that
people
we're doing
don't.
this. This is bad. Doesn't Jet give off like realtor vibes? Like, doesn't he seem like he would have gotten into realty?
No, but the guy who actually did get into
Maybe
realty
that's
from
what I'm
our
thinking
school
of.
is very funny.
This is so weird. Do we just get together every 2 weeks and talk shit about people we went to high
This
school
is,
with?
you know what?
This
call
is insane
call
that we
it-
do
Call
this.
it the reunion. Or maybe we call it Peaked. That's the name of the show. It's called Peaked, and we just talk about high school.
This is insane. Yeah, dude. It was so much better, dude. I was fucking.
Bro,
Did
did you see the Shane Gillis SNL?
Yes.
Yeah, no, those are some of my best memories, man. It's like, really? I actually, did you remember that line? It's like, those are some of my best memories, man. It's like, really? I'm kind of embarrassed about that. I thought about you and Jesse in the Prius.
Oh, I guess I didn't watch all of it then.
It was one
it
of
a
the,
setup?
it was the Forrest Gump skit. It was at the beginning.
Oh, it was a skit.
You just watched the monologue.
I watched a couple of the
Oh,
skits.
okay. No,
I watched the
I was
monologue
like, if
and
you
a
just
couple of
watched
the
the
skits.
monologue, you watched the worst part. He did great skits.
I thought his monologue was great.
I didn't think it was great. I thought he was so. And again, this is like me, right? So it's not like, oh yeah, obviously I would have known where to improve. But compared to the level he is at, which I think is quite good usually, he was noticeably nervous, and I didn't find it very funny that he did a lot of these jokes that were like, I thought you guys might like that, but I guess this wasn't the crowd. And it wasn't like bad. Like people thought, like some people on the left thought it was like repugnant, and I'm not really in that camp, but it's bad, really bad, like disgustingly bad. And I don't feel as though I'm not really in that camp, but no, his monologue was the worst part, in my opinion. He was noticeably nervous for how maybe it's just like you see the cracks in the dam as where those cracks aren't as visible on like his Netflix special or something. But that's actually really interesting. Lily and I actually looked up a couple of things about Shane Gillis, so it's an interesting talking point maybe. So Shane Gillis, I was initially when I heard about, when people say he's like canceled and stuff. Initially when I heard about this, I didn't know much about it, and I thought it was from an instance that happened a long, long time ago. It was from what I read in an article, which could be, have a slant one way or the other, but it was he used two main things. Number one, he referred to Asian people pretty negatively, which is what he was famously kind of like taken off of SNL for. And I believe he used the pejorative slur. the C slur, as you might say. And
Remind us, what is the C slur? Just kidding.
Can I buy a vowel?
I actually don't know
Just
what
fucking
slur you're
Randy
talking
Marsh
about.
over here.
It's you would use this term to
Zach, you have to play the
refer
South
to-
Park clip now.
I don't know what you're referring to.
The South Park clip where he's like, "These people annoy you," and it's naggers. South
okay.
Park. No, okay.
If you were going to try to fight someone, you might try to find a blank in their armor.
Oh!
Not a kink.
Oh!
Yeah, you wouldn't find a kink in their armor.
You find a kink in my fucking
They're
armor.
not gonna say it. Scott, don't say it.
I didn't say
Yo,
I said
Scott,
kink.
I'm gonna hit him up like a DJ. Drop it. No,
So he said this, and this was something that I thought was in 2005 when I initially heard it. That actually happened in 2018, the year before. So it's not like for example, Sarah Silverman is someone who used this word and used it in the year 2005 and was kind of reprimanded for that. And that's Sarah Silverman's a comedian who I respect.
How'd she say it? What was the context?
It was a shock value context. I believe the context was. Oh, well, it was a shock value context because I do remember her saying of the joke, I would have said the N-word if it had been more politically correct, but you can't say that without making people upset. It was basically some joke where she was like, "Oh yeah, I think I let everyone into my restaurant except for blank." It was something like that where it's like the shock value of it. But this was in 2005, which whatever your opinions on how far back we should look, it's like. It wasn't in 2018. So Shane Gillis's thing was in 2018. And number two, which I don't have a lot of context for, so I wish we had someone to look shit up. But
Savannah? No, I'm kidding. I'm not mad at you.
It's
You're fine.
Savannah now.
She doesn't watch it.
Good.
But fuck her. No.
What
But
do you want me to look up?
it's he used the term F slur comedians to refer to groups of comedians. F slur meaning the one that you actually I wouldn't
Gays?
say. Yes.
It's funny that you brought up Shane Gillis, though.
Well, this is a comedian who I generally enjoy. Who
I totally like him.
I know, and I like my instinct is to like him because when my instincts come down to it, I have opinions over a Dave Chappelle, and a lot of the reason to this is because I think it's insensitive. But a lot of what I get derailed by is this need to be proven right. So I don't see that in a Bill Burr who's legitimately just saying things that he thinks are funny. And I don't see that in a Shane Gillis. I see more things he thinks are funny as opposed to where Dave Chappelle has taken on this new fight. To me, he's taken on this new fight where he more cares about making that point that he wants to make. And so Shane Gillis doesn't give me this icky vibe, I was actually his advocate when I was talking to Lily, because as we know, Shane Gillis isn't a girlfrieven comedian. And maybe he's this
my
girlfriend.
favorite. I like
Well,
him
it's
a lot.
he's he's notorious for even he jokes about how his crowds are just a bunch of dudes that drag their girlfriends along.
Well,
I'm
I
not
would
saying
go.
Okay, I got you. I'm just he's saying that because it's a joke in his
And
community, his
Lily
fan
laughs at him too. He's funny. No one's really arguing that he's funny. It's just more when you refer to group, I don't know how I was using the term F slur comedians, but when he says that, that's pretty nasty, and that it's not super far into the past either. That's kind of a nasty term for people. And I don't know. Tell me what you guys think.
Do you know the context that he said the C word in?
It was I don't especially as well.
I can look it up.
But
I
I
could-
think maybe some context.
I
would
could
do us
tell
well
you the
in this.
context for that one. I
Please-
couldn't tell you the context for when he said the F
Tell me
word.
the context for that one,
So the
as you view.
So the context for that one was they were talking on their podcast about how insane Chinatowns were. They were making fun of how crazy Chinatowns were, and he was doing a racist white guy impression. He was like, "Smashy, let the blanks live over there, see?"
Yeah.
So-
Okay, no, which is not super. It depends on what crowd,
Shmee.
because
He was doing this voice.
That's the voice when he does that
yeah,
baseball
yeah.
player joke.
Yeah,
What is
exactly. Yeah,
that?
his old timey.
Jackie Robinson?
Right when white people learned that they weren't cool anymore, and Jackie Robinson up for the first hit, and oh my God, it's a home run.
Yeah,
that
that's
joke.
the
Yeah,
joke.
it's
That's-
same voice
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
But so when I hear a joke like that, I do so. I think a lot of people will talk about like, oh, you don't understand the context, because the context is his intent is to have the joke be on racist white people. And it's like, you know, showing the absurdity in how people will quickly dehumanize an entire group and be like, put them over there. Is that like the context you took from it as well?
Sure.
And I guess I just think of it as, I think this is a bit of what I was talking about when we're talking about like shock value, or that like edgy type of joke that just like titillates you in the right way, as being kind of like immature. And it's not like it's, I don't think that was the only way you could have said that. And even if you're in one of those groups where it's like, you know, like you got like, even if he was on a podcast where he was like with an Asian guy making this joke, I feel like there's got to be something flawed in that talking point. One person can speak for an entire group by allowing a joke to be said. Like, or you can still dislike the
entire group.
So, for example, like, you know, when...
Say it again?
Like, if I were to say you're allowed to make whatever fat joke about me you want, I have the permission for you as my friend to make whatever joke about me you want, but I don't have permission to forgive you on behalf of the public eye. So if you make a fat joke about me and then someone else who is fat and maybe a little more insecure or a little less willing to joke about it than I am, sees that and just takes it as being assaulted, they didn't really give you their permission to make that joke. So even though it was on a format where they could have clicked away, I still understand why people think it's icky.
Like Megan's booby joke.
Like Megan, well,
I'm just kidding, Megan.
yeah. So the point is, Megan's sexist and prejudiced as fuck, you guys.
I'm also fat. So fuck you.
Got her. No, just kidding.
That's our. Never mind. I'm gonna finish that sentence.
We just gotta take advantage.
That's our word, is what you were going to say.
I wasn't gonna say that, but close enough. Yeah. Sure.
You gotta feed me something, man. Or you gotta interrupt me. You gotta.
No, I'm trying to work on letting people complete their thoughts and not talk over each other. So I'm not trying to leave you out to hang. Like if you get to the end of your statement, you don't feel obligated to say something. I'm just trying to be better about letting you finish your thoughts.
No, I appreciate. I guess what I'm saying
I'm
is
excited.
sometimes.
Fuck you.
No, I guess it's it's just coming from a point of like, yeah, I'm trying to follow up because I don't think you said anything radical. That can make me uneasy in terms of like, this is a person who I like, who has offended people, where I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but on the other hand, it's like, I still like this person, so I want to relegate, the good with the bad. So I guess it makes me sometimes anxious, so sometimes I'll keep talking.
Right, okay. So you were having a conversation with Lily about this, and she brought up those examples. I can't drink Diet Coke on this show. I tried copying Scott's drinking Diet Coke. I can't do it. I'm just gassy as fuck.
It's just like that John Mulaney joke. I'm burping through sentences right now. You think we could just... Tuscany, actually...
Was
Take
that from his
a
newest
pause,
special?
John. No, it's 2 ago. Radio City.
Okay, I guess I just don't remember. But so you were having this conversation with Lily, and she brought up instances where he said bad words.
Lily has heard the discourse around Shane Gillis from maybe from the non-Shane Gillis supporting side, and it's pretty vicious. And I'm not saying that it's like everything is vicious nowadays, but she's coming from the talking points that she's hearing are relatively anti-Shane Gillis. Okay. And she's kind of, and she trusts me, so she's, she's hearing my, pretty accepting, oh, I don't think this guy's out to be proven right, I think he's just funny kind of perspective. And she's researching that, and we're having discussions about it. So I'm actually more the Gillis advocate. As we're here, I feel like I will be the Gillis moderator.
Okay.
But Lily brought it up because she is skeptical about intent. She's skeptical about intent.
Let's get it close up.
What'd you say, Megan?
Oh, he just said Gillis 10 times. It was entertaining.
Gillus.
Gillus. Gillus. Gillus. Gillus. Gillus. Gillus. Gillus.
Kill us. Kill us. No, yeah.
Gillus. Gillus.
I better not have another Shane Gillis dream tonight since we're talking about it.
You had a Shane Gillis dream?
Hang on. Yeah.
Elaborate.
So
You don't just dream about your like favorite goth cartoon characters? Like what the hell?
I don't know why I had one. I just remember, I can't remember exactly what went down, but I think I was telling him a joke, and the joke was about like him looking a little bit on the spectrum.
Okay.
And when I said that joke in my dream, I woke up. I remember immediately waking up and laughing at the joke that I said because I thought it was so good. And I looked over and I woke Lauren up and I told her I was like, I don't remember what the joke was, but I just started laughing.
Scott, have you ever thought that because
wholesome.
you're just like an earnest person who thinks of funny things and like has a funny story, you might be a much better stand-up comedian than either of us? Because that was really fucking funny.
It's a true story, and it happened like not that long ago, probably last week. I told you about that, didn't I?
Maybe.
About laughing.
I think so.
Waking up in the middle of the night just laughing about
You might have.
Shane Gillis.
We say a lot of things to each other. You can't expect me
It's
to
a
remember
long
everything.
time. And I am upset. I want to leave most of the time that we're talking. So like
Pretty much.
Oh my God, Scott. This week, you kept doing this thing. We were working on a big ass rooftop, and you kept doing this thing where you kept making a noise, and I would think that you said something important. And so I'd like I'd be like, what the fuck? I'd walk over to you, and you'd just be like, hi. Or something. Like, you just say what's up. And I was like, gonna lose my fucking mind. Because like, it's so hard to hear you. And every so often, and Scott's just happy. I've gone over this before.
Yeah.
He's just fucking stoked to like be alive. And so every so often he just goes like, woo! And I'm like, what? Like, what's Scott saying? So I'll run over, like, you need something, Scott? And he'd be like, no. And I'll be like, okay, can you shut the fuck up?
I'm just riding high, baby.
Like, I'm just living life. We're making money with the oh shit. That was kind of cool. He was like, we're making money, dude. And I was like, dude, it's just like this is our job, bro. Chill.
I think I got like a Schrader core pulled on the first try.
And he was like, you're fucking way too stoked.
So
Jesus
stupid.
You know what could be funny? If you don't have something immediately to transition into, you guys should tell me things about the type of work that you do, or have a conversation that you two have full fluency in, and I am a stranger to.
I don't want to. I get paid to talk about that stuff, dude.
Julian,
don't
I'm
get
not
paid to
even
do
allowed
this?
to ask him how his
Yeah,
day
you're
goes.
barking up the truck
Alright?
and tree, dude.
He's not gonna fucking talk about
don't wanna
work
talk.
on the show. It's been 2 years. It's hard. It's hard, you guys.
Oh no, let's go over this. What do you enjoy when someone asks you, like, if you just had you went to work
Yeah.
and someone asks how
think
did
I get-
work go? Do you enjoy whatever you're gonna say, or do you feel like, okay, I have to summarize
If you're
the
about
thing
to say
I get stressed
yes,
out about,
if you're
and then
about-
like spit it out to you in like a convenient way?
You're totally on the money for how I feel.
Or you could just say good.
Oh my God, you want more than this? You want more than good? Do you want me to just say one word?
You act
I'll
like
give
my
you one word.
grandma. Just by the way,
Dude.
I can't ask my grandma how her day was. She gets mad.
Okay, that
Just
sounds like a
legit.
compliment.
Yeah, well, she's something wrong with her.
grandma's hilarious. Dude, she gets upset that I like to wash dishes and then put them in the dishwasher. She gets really bent out of
She's
shape.
like, why did you pay for the fucking dish?
No, it's more of like that generation of people that grew up during the Great Depression.
Oh,
that
okay.
like you have this deep-rooted sense of scarcity, which will probably come for us when World War III starts. But for now, we're vibing, you know, like, dude, water for days, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, it's fucking ridiculous. It's like, here's the thing, right? Here's the honest thing. I understand some people are struggling financially, right? I'm doing okay. I can either conservatively save water, or I can just do whatever the fuck I want, and it costs me like an extra $30 a month.
Yeah.
Like it's you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I see
I can
what you're
do
saying.
whatever I want with water, and at most, it's gonna cost me an extra like $30.
Well, and that's one
You know
of those
what I
things.
mean?
That's why people will say like capitalism
And there's not a
is
drought.
so
We're in
evil.
Washington. If we were in California, I would disagree with myself.
That's why people will say like capitalism is so evil for the environment, is because you can be wasteful of some things for cheap, and because you're not being wasteful of the important thing. It's like, which is money. It's like it doesn't really matter. The only bad thing you could be wasteful of in a capitalist system is money, when there are other bad things to be wasteful of.
It rains like half of the year, dude. We're doing fine.
It was snowing earlier.
It was snowing. It's, dude, like, dude.
When you say we're doing fine, this is like, this brings me to, so like, yes.
We're gonna have to repair some more water pumps. Who gives a shit?
So I agree with you that I don't feel, when people talk
I'm giving
about,
jobs.
When people talk about like the
energy.
environmental impact of wasting water, that is probably something that is closer to your individual carbon footprint mattering. Like, I'm sure water usage matters when you use 50,000 or 50 million gallons of it a day to cool your like Ford manufacturing plant. Otherwise, it probably doesn't matter if you leave the sink on while you brush your teeth.
I think that like I could have combated her by going the route of, well, then you shouldn't eat meat. You know what I mean? Because if you want to talk about,
She doesn't.
oh fuck. Okay. Well, okay. She wins. Now she's a perfect human being. Fuck, you got me there. She doesn't eat meat.
Well, she'll eat chicken, but that's it.
Okay, bitch. Chickens drink water. Okay, they you have to plant water to grow the seeds that they eat.
Okay, well, she doesn't eat it a lot. I don't know what you want. She's crazy. Okay,
Well,
what do you want?
I don't know.
Zach,
I'm in a hole
I
now.
actually
You
have an
kind of
interesting-
fucked me there, Megan.
I don't
Thanks.
know. I feel like there's an interesting thing. So these absolutist arguments is kind of like what would you call it? Expands. I had a better word, but it expands on your point. Goes outward, as in like. So that mentality, that like, oh well, I'm wasting water. Are you a vegan? Kind of like.
I just have to say, I just realized that I know nothing about like any of this. I'm just talking.
I'm gonna come in.
You guys ever realize that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about?
Zach, if you actually use too much water, a family in New Orleans doesn't get any. Did you know that?
Yeah, right. I just realized I could be wrong and I'd have no idea.
So no, but it's more about the philosophy. It's not about specific facts, which is like that kind of absolutist mentality of, oh, you want to save water, well then do you eat meat? I don't think that's a good way to think about things. I don't know if you're joking or kind of like arguing like in a debate to convince other people, or if you basically I don't know if it's to convince other people or if you genuinely believe that yourself, but I feel as though like that you call it whataboutism, right? That oh
fallacy.
well, you don't think I should waste water in the sink. What about your meat consumption? I don't think that's a good way to have arguments.
Sure. In this
it's a-
exact
it's a
fallacy,
fallacy.
I'm saying that it doesn't matter where we live. If you lived in an area where water was scarce, sure, but like our dams are doing fine.
I
You know what I
agree
mean?
with
Like,
you.
It's really not. So my point being that
The way it's like Hannibal Buress's joke when he's like, and I'll get all the water out of my apartment. I'll partner up with FedEx or somewhere to like ship it to like places in the desert where they need water, and it's like. That's not the problem. We have enough clean, drinkable water for everyone to drink some water. It is about people's access to water. It's not like if we consume too much here in Seattle that someone somewhere in Africa won't get any because we ate too much, right? That's not the case. So I agree with you there.
Sure. I mean, the point I was gonna make is that she was just getting on my ass about something that I can't imagine has a big impact that she does. She thinks she's changing the world by not washing her dishes by hand. And I think that based off of where we live, it's not making a big difference. I don't think it's really making any difference.
Yeah.
And if she wanted to actually make a difference, there are options to do that.
So when you
but
say
she's getting on my ass.
changing the world, okay.
She's getting on my ass about something she does that in my brain doesn't really matter because I'm not doing
Is
something
she
in my
being
brain that doesn't matter.
sanctimonious about it?
No, she's for real. I mean, I don't know.
Well, so sanctimonious so it doesn't mean you're not for real, but I guess it's more like, are you like, oh, I would say the moral thing was to waste no water. Is
No,
kind of what
she's
sanctimonious
just
is.
fucking with you. She's just like that.
So okay, yeah.
She also, if you say, oh, what a beautiful day it is today. It's so sunny. It's so nice. She'll have a whole argument with you about how a rainy day is just as good. A rainy day is good for the flowers. What are
maybe
you
this
talking? You know
context
what?
mattered.
The sunshine gives me a sunburn. I don't like the sunshine.
This is a woman who cares a lot about perspective.
She's
Maybe
a
she just really
preschool
likes
teacher.
water. Rain, not wasting it. She's just really
Is she
into
like a
liquids.
fish in disguise?
She is a Pisces, so.
We really hit the
Zach, you
20-year-old white girl
You said
demographic.
this joke was going to be a sausage. You said this show was going to be a sausage fest. Point proven wrong. Astrology joke in the books. That's for the ladies.
Sorry, my brain
Oh,
went.
sorry. So what was it about the big booby touch that you guys were saying? I forgot.
My brain went sausage, fish. I thought you were gonna make a food joke.
No.
Nope, I was wrong. Why isn't there a fish sausage? Is there a fundamental thing about sausage in which it cannot be made out of fish?
Sausage has a lot of fat in it, and as opposed to like a pig or a cow, where when you butcher it, you'll get big like portions of fat. I don't think you get that from a fish. So that's my immediate reason why is sausage is a good way to use all the excess fat you get off the animal. And I know you just you want me to fucking because sausage can't get wet like that. Like this is stupid. It's because the fish doesn't have a lot of fat, and sausage is a good way to use excess fat combined with some meat.
All the leftovers
as
with
opposed to
some
where
spices.
you just throw it away or turn it into exactly. We just throw it away or turn it into cooking oil or something.
No, I was curious. Kind of like a weird thing to be curious about, but I was.
I was curious about it
and
too.
You answered
and
the call.
I answered that question.
You answered the call, bro. Megan, you seemed like you were about to. I heard you take a no.
No, that's a really interesting thought. I've never thought about it, but like sausage is usually put in the casing of like the intestines of the animal, right? Fish don't
Also a
have
good
that.
point.
Fish don't have that.
Also a good point.
Sausage. Dun dun.
Sausage is
But I'm
also
gonna get that
yummy.
sausage. No, you
Megan
guys haven't
probably
seen that?
makes a
Alright.
better point in that its historical purpose is just to be useful. And
sausage?
Yeah. Is just to be useful in the fact that it's meat in an animal casing that stays fresh for a long time,
Does
even in
it?
the heat. Yes.
Sausage stays fresh for a long time.
Yeah. Because it's like
Cured sausage.
it's yeah.
What's cured
exactly.
sausage?
So it's like salami or something like that. It's a cured sausage.
Yeah, you're totally right. That stuff because that's why you can wrap it in fucking plastic.
That's why you can leave
on
it
a
at room
shelf.
temperature. Yeah, exactly.
How do you cure a sausage?
So
Salt.
it's salt.
Oh, so
salt,
it's
yes.
just salted.
Well, it's a balance of
Like how
salt,
you
but
take
it's
like how a pirate would
it's
eat
partly
salted pork.
a salt antimicrobial thing, but it's also about getting the right kind of fermentation. It's for the same reason you can drink wine, but you can't drink moldy grape juice. You can drink things that have been fermented. You just need to make sure there's a predominance of good bacteria, and the good bacteria will kind of help keep you safe from some of the bad ones.
Sometimes I'll see something that's not refrigerated at the grocery store that I feel internally should be refrigerated.
You work in HVAC.
What?
You feel internally everything should be refrigerated. It's more business.
That's a different business. Refrigeration is a different they're like cousins. I could not go to a grocery store and be of help. Let's put it
Only
that
an
way.
HVAC tech knows the difference between HVAC and refrigeration. Well, I guess refrigeration.
They're well aware.
Yeah, two demographics out of the world.
Oh, fair. No, I don't know. It's an interesting thing, you know. The guy who fixes it at your house, the guy who fixes your furnace could not work at a grocery store. Completely different. Well, I shouldn't say completely different. There'd be some nuanced things. They could probably a guy who really knows what they're doing could probably stumble their way through it, right?
I bet you could do it.
Yeah, but he's a fucking nerd. We work with this guy who is just like a savant at life. Like, I don't get it. Julian.
My
I thought
fucking
Isan was
manager is a
smart.
savant too, because I'll ask her like a stock check, and she'll just say what item she has.
No, that's different. Like, there's guys that are Riley Auto Parts that have part numbers memorized. Completely different. I'm telling you, I thought Isan was smart. This guy fabricates his own circuit boards, which might not be as hard as I think it is. But what it really is his ability to like consume information where like it's not that he's inherently good at everything. It's that he'll pick something up and be better than you at it within a matter of months or weeks. Like there's just nothing you can do about it. He once he understands something, it doesn't go away.
I kind of want him to be my podcast partner now.
He's
like, we're going to have a rough few weeks, but we're actually going to get a much better product at the end of the day.
Yeah, right? No, like he bought a drone and like it was capped out at like 300 meters or something like that. And he went into the programming of the drone and removed its disability. And so he just felt, it just kept going up until like he started to run out of battery. And then I don't think he made it back down to the bottom.
Keeps going. Well, it stopped.
I think he almost hit a helicopter. We probably shouldn't say that.
I think he almost hit like a plane or this is
Dude,
like a
dude,
building.
He showed us a video, and it was like one of those deep water submarine videos where you like see it's like the first footage of the giant squid go by, except it's just a helicopter through a fucking cloud. He like almost committed like an act of war. I'm gonna have to fucking remove his name.
Like Kendrick Lamar in that one song. No?
I've never.
This is the best show for Kendrick references, Zach. What are you talking about? This is Kendrick Central.
No comment. Sure. I have to piss. Can you ramble for like 2 minutes?
Sure. What were we just talking about, guys?
Megan, Julian, motherfucker. Don't be so god. I asked if you can ramble, and then you just sit there quietly for like 30 seconds.
Maybe you should have given. Maybe you should have like put me on. You should have given me like a motivation or something. I feel like I probably could ramble about something, but it wouldn't
Talk
be good.
about what you think slut shaming my grandma was about.
So when slut shaming your, how did you slut shame Zach's grandma, Megan?
I didn't.
Well, it sounds like you did.
Like I did.
Based on the content, who's slut shaming Zach's grandma?
Oh, maybe I did. We were just talking to her. I don't want to tell the story because Zach wanted to tell the story. It was very entertaining, though.
Well, I feel like so now I'm feeling like I'm rambling. Scott, what are you? What? He's gonna be so disappointed. He's gonna be editing this, and he's gonna be like, "This motherfucker can't ramble at all." I'm gonna let him down, you guys. You gotta help me out.
I mean, however his grandma had to provide for their family, the Great Depression was a rough era.
I know it was hard. It was hard to eat.
We had hard times.
I would have
She's
sold my
not
left arm
that
for some
old.
Kraft macaroni and cheese. So the fact that I just had to, give that glock behind the, like Ralph's or whatever. They
Julian,
might.
you need to talk in your microphone.
Oh fuck!
You can hold it.
I didn't ramble about anything. I don't fucking.
You can tell us about your watch. I'm sure Zach.
Okay, so here's. Yeah, you're probably right. So I got this
let's
watch
zoom in on
at
it.
Comic-Con. Oh hell yeah! Zoom in on it. Who's that right there?
Danny Phantom. I don't know.
shit.
Gonna catch him all 'cause he's Danny Phantom. Gonna catch him all 'cause he's Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
And so I got this Danny Phantom watch. I went to Emerald City Comic-Con, and I got this Danny Phantom watch. And the reason that I bought it is because it came in a case signed by the creator of Danny Phantom, Butch Hartman, who is a person of mixed reviews, who I think is very funny. Who not?
Want to do drugs?
Oh yeah. YouTube would love that especially. Yeah.
What, drugs?
Drugs.
So we're talking about my watch, right? So I went to Comic-Con, got this Danny
Seattle?
Phantom watch. What'd you say?
Seattle.
Yeah. I went to Emerald City Comic-Con
Recently?
yesterday.
Oh.
And I got
didn't
this
know.
Danny Phantom watch, and the reason I bought it is because it was signed by the creator of Danny Phantom.
no shit.
The box was. The box was. So the box is signed by Butch Hartman.
How much was it?
I misjudged.
$50.
I thought
So-
Zach wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, Megan was like,
Actually
talk about it
likes
because
it.
Zach won't give a fuck. And I believed her. I was like,
give a fuck about what I have to say.
Well, I mean, I would never buy that.
Oh,
Like
come
even
on.
I wouldn't if you offered that to me for free. If you gave me that as a gift, I'd be like, "What the fuck do you want me to do with this?"
here you
I,
go.
I would-
Come on.
But it's I
You'd wear it to
like
work every day.
I can appreciate unique things, such as something that's signed by a niche cartoonist from 15 years ago.
He's not a niche
Oh, does he
cartoonist.
do other things?
Maybe we'll. So you know Bush Hartman?
Nope.
He does clearly not. He does the Fairly Odd Parents. He does
Okay.
all the characters who. There's a couple of characters who look like this. If you remember, do you remember on Nickelodeon? You could actually. This might be a good clip. Do you remember on Nickelodeon when we used to do these like, here's how to draw Danny Phantom with Butch Hartman? It was like a little in
Was he
between the
Phineas and
credits
Ferb
thing.
guy? Is that him?
No,
Different guy?
that's Disney.
It was the Danny Phantom guy.
I don't know. I was a Cartoon Network kid.
No, he was a Nickelodeon guy, and he would do these ad breaks in between Nickelodeon where he would talk about how to draw his cartoon characters.
cool.
So it'd be, here's how to draw Timmy, here's how to draw Danny Phantom. And if you look it up on YouTube, you'll definitely find it. And he is a guy who has a real mixed reputation because he made Fairly Odd Parents, which is quite a revered children's television show. And he made Danny Phantom, which was also quite well liked. And then he made several other Nickelodeon shows that weren't very well liked. And then he came out as like a fundamentalist Christian. And then he tried several different like streaming services to try and scam people out of money. Yeah, where he just moved from streaming service to stream. He had his own app for a while, like Jeremy Renner did. That didn't do well. He keeps asking people for money for this one like Christian fundamentalist streaming service he wants to make. It never gets made, but he keeps taking the money. Yeah, he's still got some of the money. He's a weird guy. So that's why I saw this and I was like,
And now he's pushing signed watches.
because you combine the absurdity of Danny Phantom with the problematic nature of some fundamentalist Christian ideals, and with the greediness and the business intensity of Butch Hartman, and you get a purchase that I think is like, you know, a lot of people can flex with a Rolex, right? Every guy and their mother's got a Rolex nowadays, but this is limited edition drip, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is interesting that he became a Christian fundamentalist after like famously making a show about fairies and ghosts, like two things.
The fact that you like magic. It's just,
yeah.
Do you think that's a good point? Yeah.
Oh, that's not the point you were making?
No, that's not even.
Oh,
the
I
point.
thought that was the point you were making.
No,
My
the
bad,
point I
dog.
was
No,
making
yeah.
at all is just he has an interesting life. You know.
No,
it's
for
just
sure.
that it's yeah.
You'd think he'd take like the anti-Harry Potter route, but instead he's like, all right, hear me out. I got this kid, and he's got these two magical fairies.
It's just fucking weird, right? Yeah.
Did you guys hear that? Oh, was that your phone? No, you're completely fine.
Shame.
Oh, your flashlight's on, by the way. Your phone's definitely gonna die. Did you say anything about the slut shaming thing?
Megan said.
I can just skip
I
it.
asked-
We don't
I
have
asked
to recap. We don't
Megan
have
about
to recap.
it.
We don't have
She
I
said
didn't say anything.
nothing because she thought you wanted to tell the story because that's the kind of like attitude that we breeded in this house, that we might be punished if we say something wrong. So that being said, now that that's all out of the way, Zach, please tell the story.
I want to slut shame you.
Who are you looking at?
You? What the fuck? What the fuck? You have every camera angle in front of you. You can't do the like iguana eyes. Figure out who I'm looking at. You motherfucker. You.
Oh, I thought you were gonna slut shame me, Daddy, but I guess not.
No. So, you know how like. Okay, maybe this isn't for everyone, but when you have a congregation of all the older folks in your family.
I'm sorry, that was intense. Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, I missed it.
I'm great. Congregation, older folks. Here you go, Megan.
Thanks.
Oh fuck, my hands look weird. What's up?
Yeah, it's called
Extra weight.
I can't remember the name of the fucking disease. Never mind. The thing King Charles had.
Gout.
Gout.
Gout. So gout is a disease that I think is very
Bobby
funny
Hill
to bring
also
up.
had gout.
Why? I do just think of
Because
Bobby
it's
Hill.
like,
by the way.
so when most people want to make a fat joke, they'll go to diabetes. So it's like funny to me if someone were to say like, because what is it? There's this one guy who was also fat but has super contrary takes, and I think that he's kind of mean and
Tim Dillon?
mean-spirited. No, he's not a comedian. He's just another YouTuber who I've just found his channel and disliked him. He's like 10,000 subscribers.
Oh,
you don't know him. He's just a niche. He's just a fucking guy. And I saw him, and he was super nasty. And I thought about calling him Gout's biggest fan, but then I didn't. So basically, what I'm saying is, if someone
Be a lot cooler if you did.
I thought because I thought we'd just get into a tit for tat if I were to insult him in a petty way. That doesn't really.
Hey, but that's views, Julian. That's views, boy. What are you doing?
Because it goes against
start
my
battling back and
philosophy.
forth,
So Zach,
shaming each other.
you're an artist with what you make. I have a philosophy that I want to adhere to, and that went against it. I was like, I'm no better than him if I use my ability as a comedian to roast him better than he can roast me. I am not actually better than him.
I disagree. I think you can pick out people that are doing bad things, and you could be more mean to them than you would be to a normal person.
I think
that's perfectly fine.
I think there's perspective for maybe how well the person doing bad things is. Like, if someone comes into like work, well, I'm at a customer service position, and they're like, visibly down on their luck, and they're maybe upset about a return, I have more sympathy for them than somebody who visibly looks quite well off and is maybe upset about a return.
Okay.
So based on that logic, I think that someone who has 5 million subscribers, or however you want to quantify it, deserves more anger from the public about about any sort of thing they say than someone who has 10,000 subscribers. I think someone who has 10,000 subscribers, well, it's much more than me, right? I can punch up at this person as much as I want. It's not punching down. But I still feel as though I'm still insulting him in a way that I'm arguing against. Like, I can't say don't make jokes of a certain kind unless you're me and you're good enough at it. That's not a very good philosophy. It's better to say we should make jokes that aren't of a certain kind.
Do you think that that's what I was advocating for?
I thought you were advocating for, and I'll say this broadly, not like exactly, but like,
Fine.
I thought you were advocating, Julian, you're fat, like roast his ass, like go to town. You don't have to worry about this sort of thing because he's opening himself up to criticism by being like a person who roasts other people or criticizes other people, so I don't have to feel as bad about it. Or he's doing an objectively shitty thing, so you don't have to feel bad for telling someone who's being objectively shitty that they are being shitty. Which I think is true, but I think it's true that you can tell them you're being shitty, but then that's not a very funny conversation. I feel like it's different when you're making a joke.
I mean, kind of like the second point that you were making. I'm not saying that. I'll just try to restate what I was saying rather than try to.
Do you want to
digest
watch
that.
some of his videos? They're kind of interesting. It's kind of a guy who I've grown to hate.
4 minutes left.
Okay.
And also no TV setup. The point I was trying to advocate for in that specific scenario is that I think that I don't think you have to treat everyone exactly the same. Or if you are advocating for treating people in general with kindness, I think that it's not morally hypocritical to treat people who aren't doing that as kindly as you would treat people who are not doing that. Did that come across clear?
I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking
To me,
Yeah.
Okay, so
I get what
so
I took your point.
That's fine. I want to get to because if they don't understand, then anyone who's listening to this isn't going to
well,
understand.
Scott was saying he did understand.
He was saying, yeah, kind of. So like, if I say that you shouldn't make fun of someone's voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in general, you should try not to, make fun of people for things that they don't have a lot of control
But
over.
then
right?
I come on TV and I say that people with funny sounding voices should be quiet. Like that?
No, but
where it's
if
not
someone
hypocritical
with
to-
that voice started like yelling the N-word and like saying a bunch of racist crazy shit, I think that it's kind of game on. Like if someone
Okay.
that has an attack vector that you would normally be like, hey, let's try to avoid making
Do you
fun
think
of
it's
this
kind
thing.
of gloves on, gloves off?
But then as soon as they start going off the rail, it's like, all right, motherfucker, you need to shut your goofy ass voice up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
and so
The
in that
example
specific
is helpful.
the example is okay, sure. And so with your example, if you think this guy's doing fucking crazy shit, in my brain, fucking gloves. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Go ham.
No, I totally take your point where I think that what I was going to say is that's not what Ned Stark would do. Was the first
You know
thing
how
that
I feel
thought
about
of.
every dude. I went on a rant about how like every main character in Game of Thrones is a piece of shit because they're all like, ooh, peasants. You know, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
no matter how
At the end of the day, when
noble
Ned Stark
Jon-
was like, you have to chop off this peasant's head,
Yeah,
but you have to be honorable about it.
yeah, you have to chop off this peasant's head because he
stole
got
a
caught
horse.
stealing a loaf of bread, and we're banishing him to live in Antarctica and have to fight zombies until he inevitably dies, and he doesn't want to do that. You know what I mean? But you have to make sure you cut his head off. Like
Yeah.
it's not like it's not that.
Zach, that's you skipped
it's
over
not-
the funniest point of the joke. Is that you have to cut his head off, otherwise you're kind of a dick.
yeah. It's like
You might as well have kept it on, or just let him live if you don't do it.
the way to be a good ruler isn't by fuck. What would the angle be? It would be the way to make sure you're a good angle is by making sure that you're the one that cuts their head off, not by making sure that people don't have to steal bread. And then, therefore, be exiled to Antarctic Australia with zombies.
That's a very good point.
I feel like I have to say the slut grandma thing, otherwise you're just like dick teasing anyone who was nice enough to listen to this whole thing.
What if
was-
we continue to dick tease them?
Come in next week to hear about how I slut shamed a 93-year-old woman.
She lived through the Great Depression,
stop.
but not
Wait a
through
stop.
Zachary City's epic burn.
We'll be right back. Scott, you're bad at your job. I'm just kidding, you're fine.
Don't stop, we go straight to the top. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. I am that dude, I am that dude, I am that dude, I am that dude, I am that. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. And we all going together.